Have you ever wondered if gorillas can talk? Imagine being able to converse with these gentle giants of the jungle, sharing thoughts, ideas, and maybe even a joke or two. Can these majestic creatures express themselves in ways similar to us humans? Or is their communication a world of its own, filled with unique sounds and gestures? These questions have puzzled scientists and animal lovers alike for decades. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the world of gorilla communication. You might have heard of Coco, the gorilla who knew sign language. This isn't just a story spun from the threads of fantasy. It's a real-life tale of an extraordinary primate. Coco, a western lowland gorilla, was not your average monkey business. She was a linguistic marvel in the world of primates. Born in the San Francisco Zoo, Coco was adopted by Dr. Francine Patterson, a psychologist and researcher at Stanford University. Dr. Patterson decided to teach Coco sign language, or more specifically, a modified version of American Sign Language known as Gorilla Sign Language. And guess what? Coco picked it up and ran with it. Or should we say, signed with it. Coco's vocabulary eventually grew to understand over 1,000 signs and was able to comprehend approximately 2,000 words of spoken English. Imagine that! A gorilla understanding the complexities of human language nearly as well as a child. But Coco didn't just mimic these signs. She used them to express her thoughts, desires, and feelings. She even created her own signs when she didn't know the correct one, such as referring to a ring as a finger bracelet. Now that's innovation. Dr. Patterson's research with Coco challenged the boundaries of interspecies communication. It opened our eyes to the cognitive capabilities of gorillas, showing us that they can understand abstract concepts and even ask questions, something previously thought to be unique to humans. Of course, Coco's sign language skills sparked some debate in the scientific community. Some experts argue that Coco's signing could have been a result of clever conditioning rather than genuine understanding. However, many still agree that Coco's ability to sign was a significant demonstration of gorillas' cognitive potential. So, there you have it, the tale of Coco, the sign language savvy gorilla. Her story is a testament to the fact that gorillas can and do communicate in intricate ways. But don't pack up your bags just yet, because the journey into gorilla communication isn't over. Sign language isn't the only way gorillas communicate. There's more to it. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the fascinating world of gorilla gossip. Beyond sign language, gorillas have a rich vocal communication system. Now, when you think of talking, you probably think of words, sentences, and conversations like we humans have, but for gorillas, it's a little different. Their language is made up of a variety of vocalizations, each having its own specific meaning. Let's dive into the intriguing world of gorilla vocalizations, shall we? Gorillas use a wide range of vocal sounds to communicate with each other. From grunts and barks to roars and screams, each sound is a word in the gorilla vocabulary. Like the soft, low-frequency grunts, for instance, which are generally used among gorilla family members to maintain contact and express contentment. Or the loud, high-pitched screams which signal alarm or distress. Then we have the distinctive gorilla hoot. This low, resonating sound is like a gorilla version of a telephone call, used to communicate over long distances. When a gorilla hoots, it's saying, "Hey, I'm here, where are you?" Now, you must be wondering, how do we know all this? Well, several studies have been conducted on gorilla vocalizations. By observing and recording these sounds, researchers have been able to decipher this unique form of communication. They've discovered that gorillas use different sounds depending on their mood, the situation, and who they're communicating with. It's like a complex language, only without actual words. While we're still far from unlocking all the secrets of gorilla communication, these studies have given us a fascinating glimpse into their world. They've shown us that gorillas have a complex, nuanced way of expressing themselves, a way that goes far beyond simple grunts and growls. So, the next time you hear a gorilla vocalizing, remember, it's not just making noise. It's communicating, expressing its feelings, sharing information. It's talking in its own unique way. Gorillas don't just use their voices, they also have a visual way of communicating. Gorillas speak volumes with their body language. One fascinating aspect of gorilla communication is their use of gestures. Just like us humans, gorillas use body language to express a variety of emotions and intentions. Their gestures range from subtle movements to more pronounced actions, each carrying a distinct message. Did you know that a gorilla pounding its chest isn't just a display of strength, but also a way to communicate its social status? Yes, it's a gorilla's way of saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm the boss here." Likewise, a gorilla standing upright or charging forward is a clear sign of aggression or dominance. On the other hand, a submissive gorilla might lower its body, avoid eye contact, or even turn its back. It's their way of saying, "I mean no harm, you're the boss." But gorilla gestures aren't just about dominance and submission. They also use body language to express affection and camaraderie. For instance, grooming each other's fur is a social activity that strengthens bonds within the group. It's like a gorilla spa day. This fascinating world of gorilla gestures isn't just anecdotal, it's backed by extensive scientific research. For instance, a study published in the journal Animal Cognition identified over 100 different gorilla gestures, each with a specific meaning. Researchers observed everything from slapping the ground to throwing objects, from touching their lips to shaking their heads. Each gesture is a word in the gorilla's silent language, contributing to a complex system of nonverbal communication. So, the next time you see a gorilla at a zoo or in a wildlife documentary, pay close attention to their gestures. You might just catch them saying something interesting. In conclusion, gorillas use a rich repertoire of gestures to communicate with each other. These gestures, coupled with vocalizations and sign language, make gorilla communication incredibly complex and nuanced. So, can gorillas talk? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. The question of whether gorillas can talk is a complex one. And to answer it, we need to delve into the fascinating world of gorilla communication. Gorillas, like humans, employ a rich tapestry of communication methods. They use vocalizations, gestures, and even sign language. But the complexity of their communication extends beyond these forms. Gorillas, it seems, have their own unique language, a complex system of communication that scientists are still trying to crack. Research into gorilla communication is a vibrant and ongoing field. Scientists around the world are continuously observing and studying gorillas, both in the wild and in captivity, to understand their means of communication better. They've found that gorillas have a wide range of vocalizations and gestures, each with its own distinct meaning. They hoot, grunt, roar, and even laugh. They beat their chests, throw objects, and make facial expressions. All these are forms of communication, each conveying a specific message. But understanding these messages is not as straightforward as it may seem. While some gestures and vocalizations have clear meanings, others are more ambiguous. Researchers are still trying to determine the full range of meanings behind each vocalization and gesture. And the complexity doesn't stop there. Gorillas also communicate non-verbally through body language, eye contact, and even the direction they're facing. Moreover, gorilla communication is not just about conveying messages, it's also about social bonding. Gorillas spend a lot of time grooming each other, a behavior that strengthens social bonds and maintains peace within the group. This shows that gorilla communication is not just a means to an end, but an integral part of their social structure. This complexity is what makes the question of whether gorillas can talk so difficult to answer. Can they use language in the same way humans do? Can they express abstract thoughts and ideas? Can they understand and respond to human language? These are questions that scientists are still grappling with. The jury's still out on whether gorillas can talk in the way humans understand it. But one thing is clear. Gorilla communication is a complex, multifaceted phenomenon that deserves our attention and respect. So, we've journeyed through the fascinating world of gorilla communication. We began by exploring the intriguing possibility of gorillas using sign language. We learned about instances where gorillas have been taught to use signs to express their thoughts and emotions, sparking curiosity about their cognitive abilities. Then, we delved into the realm of gorilla vocalizations. We discovered that gorillas have a wide range of vocal sounds, each bearing a distinct meaning, from expressing contentment to signaling alarm. This fascinating acoustic communication provides vital insights into their social behavior. Next, we looked at gorilla gestures. We discussed how gorillas use a complex system of nonverbal cues, from chest beating to hand waving, to communicate with each other. This opens up another dimension of their communication, illustrating their social dynamics and intelligence. Finally, we addressed the complexity of gorilla communication. We saw how their communication extends beyond simple exchanges, showing elements of intentionality, creativity, and even humor. It's evident that gorilla communication is a complex interplay of vocal, gestural, and signed expressions. In conclusion, whether gorillas truly talk in the human sense is still a topic of ongoing research and debate. But there's no denying the complexity and richness of their communication methods. While the debate continues, one thing's for sure: gorillas have a complex and rich way of communicating, and that, in itself, is pretty amazing.